Let us start today's session. It's going to be very, very interesting. We have an expert here who is working on the Ganita Shastram. So before that, we'll start with the Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Gunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadittamastu ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So we have a great personality today to introduce. Her name is Hariniji. I have known her for several years now, almost 3-4 years. She has been working along with IIT professor K. Ramasubramaniam ji, who is the pioneer in bringing out the Indian mathematics like Kalanaganitam, calculus, that was actually copied from India, by the West. So he's currently the top-notch expert in Kalanaganitam. He's currently working at IIT Bombay. So Hariniji is working under the supervision of K. Subramaniam ji, and she's involved in producing the textbooks for the children from the 1st grade to the 8th grade currently. So later she will start working on 9th and 10th grade. So until now, unfortunately, there are no textbooks that we can teach the younger children, the so-called, in the current scenario. So she is kind of creating the textbooks in the Sanskrit language and in the English language too. So I welcome Harini ji. तो मैं हिंदी में भी इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ. हरिणी जी इज आवर गेस्ट स्पीकर टुडे. हरिणी जी आज हमारा अतिथि है. मैं हरिणी जी को 3-4 साल से जानता हूँ और वो अभी रामसुब्रमण्यम जी जो IIT का बॉम्बे का प्रोफेसर है, उनके अंडर में, उनके निगरानी में, उनके गाइडेंस में गणित शास्त्र गणितम पुस्तकें लिख रही है संस्कृत लैंग्वेज में. सो गणितम इन संस्कृत लैंग्वेज, संस्कृत भाषा में. तो अभी वो 1st ग्रेड से 8वीं तक टेक्स्ट बुक्स अभी 1st फेज में लिख रही है. तो अभी मैं हरिणी जी को इनवाइट करता हूँ. सो आई विल लेट हर स्पीक. हरिणी जी, you can take over the case.
Namaste. Thank you, Ramesh ji, for the opportunity. How many of us know that we Indians contributed a lot towards the mathematics of the world? So do you think you can respond with how many of you know about? So what we are doing right now is, say we take up any school level concepts, right? So what is taught in school level concepts? First, we talk about algebra, we talk about arithmetic, that is the decimal number system, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then we go to ratio and proportions. Then we talk about fractions, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers. We talk about algebra, which is equations, inequalities. Then we also talk about geometry, circles, triangles, quadrilaterals. फिर हम बात करते हैं मापन करना, that is एरिया और पेरीमीटर, या फिर जो सरफेस एरिया, वॉल्यूम, घना और so then after that what we talk about is the numbers. So number sequences, number series, जो हम बोलते हैं arithmetic progression, geometric progressions. So इन सब के बारे में हम सीखते हैं. उसके बाद हम ट्रिग्नोमेट्री सीखते हैं कि वो एंगल कैसे बनता है, एंगल का, राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल में एंगल के साइड्स का क्या रेशियो होता है. एंड देन वी आल्सो लर्न अबाउट कैलकुलस. सो ये एक क्या कहते हैं, हर एक स्कूल में ये सब पढ़ाया जाता है कि डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम से लेके ऑपरेशंस, फ्रैक्शंस, इंटीजर्स, रैशनल नंबर्स, अलजेब्रा, ज्योमेट्री, मेंसुरेशन, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री, कैलकुलस, परम्यूटेशन, कॉम्बिनेशन, यही सब होता है फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड टू 12th स्टैंडर्ड में। आप सब लोगों ने यही पढ़ा होगा। बट what happens is we look at it from the western lens. जो वेस्टर्न जो लोग बोलते हैं उसके हिसाब से हम चलते हैं। तो जो इंडियन टेक्स्ट हैं वो वही चीजें बहुत पहले से कर चुके थे, and that is what I would like to talk about today. So जैसे यहाँ पर बौधायन करके we have started from बौधायन का सुलभ सूत्र। तो आप लोगों में जो मंत्र पढ़ते होंगे वो बोलते होंगे that I belong to बौधायन सुलभ सूत्र या अपस्तंभ सूत्र, I belong to कात्यायन सूत्र। सो जब हम अपना संकल्प करते हैं, जब हम पूजा करते हैं, तो हम बोलते हैं कि आपस्तंभ सूत्र है। तो वो क्या सूत्र है? What is that sutra? So that was the actual geometry, जो यज्ञ कुंड कैसे बनाना है, that used to be the instructions given in these Sulba Sutras. So the Sulba means a rope and Sutra means formula. So the set of formulas which you use to make the Vedi, जो यज्ञ कुंड होता है उसको बनाने की विधि बोलते हैं, उसको एक रोप से कैसे बनाना है। तो सिंपल मेथड से they have taught us how to do the with a rope, you know, how to draw a circle, right? How to draw a square, exact square, how to draw a rectangle of a given जो भी हम constructions करते हैं वो सब इन सुलभ सूत्रों में लिखा हुआ है। Not only that, actually अगर आप देखें तो बौधायन सुलभ सूत्र में और आपस्तंभ सुलभ सूत्र में you can see Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem क्या है? Sum of two sides of a right angle triangle, the squares of two sides of a right angle triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse, है ना? वो hypotenuse का जो square है that is equal to the square sum of squares of the two right angles. So that is given in Baudhayana Sulba Sutra. Then you have in Apastamba Sulba Sutra or Katyayana Sulba Sutra, there are methods where you can take two squares of different areas and add it into a single square such that the area is equal. So उसको सिर्फ एक रोप से कैसे कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं आप? So that is given in all these Sulba Sutras. And when do these date to? They date to 800 BC. अभी इस लिस्ट में मैंने 800 BC लिखा हुआ है, but I have this book which has been recently released by the Sanskrit Bharati, which is called Mahasalilam. ये हमको मिला है वृद्ध गार्गेय करके, उन्होंने लिखा है। वृद्ध गार्गेय means you can think how old he is, and this dates back to, it tells us things that happened 1800 BC. 4000 साल पुरानी जो प्लैनेट्स की मूवमेंट्स थी, जो टाइम का मूवमेंट था, जो वॉल्केनोज इरप्ट हुए, जो कॉन्टिनेंट्स चेंज हुआ, एवरीथिंग इज देयर इन दिस बुक. सो दिस हैज बीन रिटन बाय डॉक्टर R.N. अयंगार. उन्होंने 30 years उन्होंने हर जगह ढूंढ के ये महासलीलम का टेक्स्ट उन्होंने फाइंड किया, और वो ढूंढ के उन्होंने हर एक भाषा में, एक पार्ट उनको मिला कोलकाता में, एक उनको मिला फ्रांस में, एक उनको मिला केरला में. जो कोलकाता में मिला वो मलयालम में लिखा हुआ था, वो सब मिला के उन्होंने ये बुक लिखा है. So these kind of researchers are telling us that our ancient mathematics has gone beyond. It is more older than 1800 और उससे भी पहले. So जैसे मैं एक एग्जांपल दे सकती हूँ, जैसे श्री राम का जो बर्थ टाइम है, दैट इज गिवन एग्जैक्टली कि कौन सा नक्षत्र, कौन सा प्लैनेट किस जगह पे है. तो उतनी हमको ज्योतिष का ज्ञान था. सॉरी अबाउट माय हिंदी, मेरा थोड़ा वो डिफरेंट हो जाता है. पुल्लिंग स्त्रीलिंग डिफरेंट हो जाता है. So yeah, so after this after this Sulba Sutras, you can think, okay, what was the other thing that they used to do? तो वो काव्य लिखते थे. अगर आप लोग में से किसी को हिंदी काव्यों की आदत है, दोहे में कितना अक्षर होता है एक दोहे में, अगर आपको पता होगा तो, बिकॉज वी हैव लॉस्ट दैट थिंकिंग इटसेल्फ. हम लोग अभी हिंदी भी नहीं पढ़ते हैं, हम लोग अभी संस्कृत तो दूर की बात है. सो व्हाट इज देयर इन द पोएट्री? कितने अक्षर होना चाहिए, कितना लघु अक्षर होना चाहिए, कितना दीर्घ अक्षर होना चाहिए, और उन सब के कॉम्बिनेशन से एक लाइन में कितने अक्षर आएंगे कि हम इजीली उसका उच्चारण कर पाए. तो दैट इज अगेन मैथमेटिक्स, right? It is sequences, it's series, it's matra meru, akshara. So these merus have been created, the combinations have been created. तो आपको जो अभी का बाइनरी सिस्टम है, आप उसके algorithms आपको मिलेगा छंदस सूत्र में, which is a book on poetry, not a book on mathematics. So it's very integrated knowledge था हमारे पास. तो फिर आए हमारे आर्यभट्ट. आर्यभट्ट तो सब लोग जानते हैं, क्योंकि आर्यभट्ट के नाम से हमारा जो सैटेलाइट का नामकरण हुआ है. बट आर्यभट्ट ही हैज, सब लोग ये जानते हैं आर्यभट्ट ने जीरो किया, जीरो बनाया, बट जीरो ही नहीं बनाया उन्होंने पूरे जो नंबर सिस्टम है, डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम है, जिसको हम बोलते हैं दशमान पद्धति. तो दिस दशमान पद्धति वाज रिटन बाय आर्यभट्ट, because it's only written by Aryabhatta, but it was developed long ago. क्योंकि जब वाल्मीकि ने रामायण लिखा था, उन्होंने 10 to power 60, 10 to the exponent 60, मतलब एक के बाद 60 जीरोस के भी नाम दिए हैं रामायण में. उतने बेयर्स एंड मंकीज आए थे राम को हेल्प करने के लिए. जब रावण की युद्ध हुआ था, तो उतने लोग आए थे. तो उन्होंने वो जब रावण को उनका जो रावण का दूत, नॉट दूत, स्पाइस जो होते हैं, स्पाइस, वो आके उनको बोलते हैं, सुख और सारण, वो बोलते हैं कि राम की आर्मी इतनी बड़ी है कि आप महाऔघ समुद्र, he'll go on and on. So it is like, yeah, गुप्तचर, thank you. So गुप्तचर जो थे रावण के, वो आए और रावण को बोले कि 10 to power 60 लोग हैं उधर. So the count went up to that in the other army. So then so आर्यभट्ट only wrote down, और वो बोलते भी हैं कि मेरे पूर्वज ने ये लिखा है, मैंने नहीं बनाया, ये मेरे पूर्वज ने लिखा है. He gives credit to the Purvacharya. So then you have Varaha Mihira, who has written about Panchasiddhantika. तो ये लोग क्यों लिखते थे गणित के बारे में? क्योंकि उनको टाइम जो होता है वो मेजर करना होता था. तो जब टाइम मेजर करना होता था, तो यू कैन ओनली डू इट यूजिंग प्लैनेटरी मोशन. और जो प्लैनेटरी मोशन होता है, उसकी गति या उसके जो एक्लिप्स है, उसको मेजर करेंगे तो हमको टाइम के बारे में पता चलेगा कि अब समय क्या हुआ, अब समय क्या हुआ, कितने घंटे बीते, कितने मुहूर्त बीते, कितने दिन बीते, कितने सीजन्स बीते. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी हैड दिस, बिकॉज वो ऑब्जर्व करते थे स्काइज को, और स्काइज को ऑब्जर्व करके वो लिखते थे ज्योतिष शास्त्र, दैट इज एस्ट्रोनॉमी. ज्योतिष शास्त्र प्रेडिक्टिव नहीं है, दैट इज नॉट अबाउट कि हमने अपने नेक्स्ट डे के बारे में बताया, नहीं. इट इज अबाउट, ज्योतिष शास्त्र इज अबाउट एस्ट्रोनॉमी, कि क्या था उस टाइम, आकाश में क्या था उस टाइम, प्लैनेट की पोजीशन क्या थी उस टाइम, सूरज का जो एंगल था वो क्या था. तो उसके लिए गणित डेवलप हुआ. तो ये जो लोग हैं, ये आर्यभट्ट ने भी गणित का टेक्स्ट बुक नहीं लिखा, उन्होंने लिखा गोलाध्याय, विच इज अबाउट एस्ट्रोनॉमी. और एस्ट्रोनॉमी के एक चैप्टर को उन्होंने बोला गणितपाद. सिमिलरली जो भास्कराचार्य है, लीलावती, उन्होंने क्यों लिखा? उन्होंने इसलिए लिखा कि ज्योतिष शास्त्र नेक्स्ट चैप्टर था उनका, सिद्धांत शिरोमणि. तो उसका पहले का जो है, इफ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड एस्ट्रोनॉमी, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड गणित. You have to understand numbers, you have to understand angles, you have to understand shapes. राइट. सो उसके लिए उन्होंने गणित के बारे में लिखा. सो देन उसके बाद सी यू कैन सी श्रीधराचार्य है, माधवाचार्य है, आर्यभट्टा 2 है, श्रीपति, भास्कराचार्य 2 है. देन माधवाचार्य इज वेरी फेमस फॉर कैलकुलस. सो ही हैज क्रिएटेड अ लॉट ऑफ अप्रोक्सीमेशंस ऑफ रैशनल नंबर्स का जो सीरीज है, और पाई का वैल्यू वो लोग सब उन्होंने बनाया हुआ था. पाई का जो 22/7 का वैल्यू है वो इट इज रिटन एज सूक्ष्म परिधि व्यास. So the Sukshma Paridhi and Stula Paridhi is another ratio. So he creates that 22/7 जो था वो भास्कराचार्य ने बोला था in 1100. और जो क्या था 3.1416 जो हम यूज करते हैं पाई का वैल्यू, वो है चतुरधिकम शतमष्ट गुणम. I will show you the shloka. Yeah, this you can see. Chaturadhikam shatamashta gunam dvatashtistata sahasranam ayuttadvaya vishkambasya asanno vritta parinaha. If there are any mathematicians in the audience, I would like to say that when you calculate the value of pi, you can never calculate the exact value because pi is an irrational number. ये तो हम सब ने स्कूल में पढ़ा है. तो ये बात आर्यभट्टा ने अपना जो लेसन है वृत्ते व्यास परिधि संबंधा, उसमें उन्होंने लिखा है कि ये आसन्न, इट इज अप्रोक्सीमेट. यू कैन सी दैट यहाँ पर आसन्न मीन्स इट इज नियरिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ 3.1416. वो ये नहीं बता रहे कि इट इज एन एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू. सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी अंडरस्टूड. सो yeah, we were looking at the history. Hello. Somebody is talking. Yeah. So we had people up to Shankara Warrior, which was 1500. Even after that, in 1800, there was in 1660 Putamana Somayaji, Krishna Daivagya, who had written Bija Pallavam, which is about Bija Ganitam. Which is Bija Ganitam क्या है? Algebra. X and Y के बारे में हम जानते हैं. तो जो equations लिखते हैं वो सब was written in Bija Ganitam, which is again a commentary. जो कृष्ण देवज्ञ ने लिखा था वो भास्कराचार्य 2 के बीज गणितम पे commentary भी था उसमें. So all this was done till 1800. 1800 में क्या हुआ कि हम लोगों ने लिखना बंद कर दिया. What happened? So that is what we need to revive. We need to revive this knowledge so that our next generation should be able to write these granthas, right? So yeah, so I have probably covered all these things. So जो है जैसे दशमान पद्धति मैंने बोला कि आर्यभट्ट ने लिखा, भास्कराचार्य ने लिखा. There is a beautiful thing called magic squares या भद्र गणितम जो होता है auspicious squares. आपने मंदिरों में देखा होगा, कुछ नंबर्स लिखा होगा स्क्वायर्स में. So this concept is also again a mathematical concept जो लिखते हैं नारायण पंडिता, who is in 12th century. फिर भूत संख्या कटपयादि और encoding and decoding जो हम बोलते हैं ना अभी जो IT में यूज हो रहा है कि they are encoding the numbers into using some prime twin prime numbers and then they decode it using the prime numbers, RSA algorithm. So हमारे पास थी कटपयादि संख्या. So कोई भी नंबर को हम कटपयादि नंबर्स से हम लिख सकते थे so that we can write big large numbers. So very easily, in very short words like that. And then we have जैसे फ्रैक्शंस है, इंटीजर्स है. ब्रह्मगुप्ता ने फ्रैक्शंस के बारे में लिखा है, इंटीजर्स के बारे में लिखा है. रैशनल इरैशनल नंबर्स अगर आप देखो तो सुलभ सूत्र से लेके सुलभ सूत्र में 800 BC में भी they talk about irrational numbers. The value of square root of 2 is written there. फिर equations वो सब कुट्टका में है. कुट्टका अध्याय is there which is written by Brahmagupta. Then we have geometry. Geometry, so again, we have it in Aryabhatta, we have it in Leelavati, we have it in Silva Sutras. Mensuration, ये हमारे महावीराचार्य ने लिखा है बहुत सारा. Commercial aspects कि profit and loss क्या होता है, व्यय विक्रय जो बोलते हैं हम. So that all is written in Mahaviracharya's grantha called Ganita Sara Sangraha. फिर है permutation combinations. Permutation combination बहुत interesting चीज है कि संगीत रत्नाकरा करके एक बहुत ही beautiful text है संगीत के बारे में, स्वरों के बारे में, जो हम सरगम बोलते हैं. तो उसमें आप देखो permutation and combination से कैसे राग तैयार होते हैं, कैसे पोएट्री में जो वर्ड्स होते हैं वो कैसे तैयार होता है. सो इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल amalgamation of not just mathematics, it is the practical application of mathematics in real life. तो जो भी हम ये सब देखते हैं, these all have been written, have been described in so much detail, but जब तक हमको संस्कृत नहीं आएगा वो हम पढ़ नहीं पा रहे थे. तो इसलिए it is very important for us to learn Sanskritam, learn Ganitam in Sanskritam. So I will tell you a few shlokas about Ganitam. What was the importance? क्या प्रामुख्यता देते थे गणितम के लिए. So Vedanga Jyotisha, which is written by, so this is Vedanga Jyotisha का एक पार्ट है. So वेदांग ज्योतिषा ने में लिखा हुआ है यथा शिखा मयूराणाम नागानाम मणयो यथा तद्वत वेदांग शास्त्राणाम गणितम मूर्धनि स्थितम. जिस तरह पीकॉक्स का जो शिखा होता है या सर्पेंट या नाग जो होता है उसका जो मणि होता है, that way in for all the Vedas mathematics stands at the head of it. तो फिर मैंने अपने गुरु से पूछा कि अगर ऊपर ही रहेगा क्या मैथमेटिक्स, तो उन्होंने फिर बताया मुझे कि गणित सार संग्रह में महावीराचार्य बोलते हैं कि कोई भी नॉलेज एरिया ले लो, लौकिके वैदिके वापि, लौकिक हो वैदिक हो कोई सामयिक मतलब जो कंटेम्पररी हो, we use all the numbers. Vyaparas, even in the commerce, vyaparas tatra sarva sankhyanam upayujyate. We use Ganitam. And then after that, Mahaviracharya, for the next 6 shlokas, he talks about Pakashastra, he talks about Ayurveda, he talks about Ganita Shastra, Chanda Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra. So 20 knowledge areas he tells. And then last में he tells कि क्यों हम इसके बारे में बात ही कर रहे हैं, बहुबीर विप्रलाप ऐक्यम. Why are we even discussing this? Trailokye sacharachare. You go around anywhere in the world. Yat kinchit vastu tat sarvam ganitena vina nahi. Without numbers, vyaparas, even in the commerce, vyaparas tatra sarva sankhyan. All the numbers, vyaparas, even in the commerce, vyaparas tatra sarva sankhyanam upayujyate. We use Ganitam. And then after that, Mahaviracharya, for the next 6 shlokas, he talks about Pakashastra, he talks about Ayurveda, he talks about Ganita Shastra, Chanda Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra. So 20 knowledge areas he tells. And then last में he tells कि क्यों हम इसके बारे में बात ही कर रहे हैं, बहुबीर विप्रलाप ऐक्यम. Why are we even discussing this? Trailokye sacharachare. You go around anywhere in the world. Yat kinchit vastu tat sarvam ganitena vina nahi. Without Ganitam, there is nothing. In any knowledge area you take, anywhere in the world, in the all 3 worlds, nothing without Ganitam. So this was told by the 8th century Mahaviracharya. Then, I can go on. Tell me if, Ramesh ji, do we have time or do we continue this?
Yeah, we have time, Magni. If you have the time, we can continue, please.
Okay. So I would like to, any complaints or any this thing about the pace of my talk or सब समझ में आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Can somebody?
आ रहा है भगिनी.
Okay. So fine. So there was so everyone would have studied some number systems in your first standard to fifth standard. है ना? So first standard to fifth standard, what do you study? You study first standard में एक दशा, ones and tens. Then you study ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh, crore. crore तक जब तक आप आते हो तब तक आप फिफ्थ स्टैंडर्ड में आ जाते हो. तो in a single shloka, right? एकदश शत सहस्रायुत लक्ष प्रयुत कोटयः क्रमशः. अभी तक कोटि ही आया है, अभी तक 10 to power 7 ही आया है फर्स्ट लाइन पे. ओके, देन दे से अर्बुजम अब्दम खर्व निखर्व महापद्म शंख वस्तस्मात्. सो देन यू से जलधिश्चान्त्यम मध्यम parardham. So till parardham you can see here, here eka dasha shata sahasram ayutam laksha prayata koti arbudam abjam kharva nikharva महापद्म शंकु जलधि अंत्यम मध्यम परार्धम. यहाँ तक 10 to power 17 तक वो बोलते हैं. और ना ही ये बोलते हैं, वो उसके बाद ये बोलते हैं कि हमने लिखा है दश गुणोत्तरा संज्ञा. मतलब एक के बाद दश आया, दश एक के I mean 10 गुण, दश गुणोत्तरा, it is increased by 10. Shata has increased, is 10 increased by 10. Sahasram is 100 increased by 10, right? 10 times, 10 times. So he says, so you can see this. So he says dasha gunottaraha, for every gunottara kramashah I am giving you the sanya or noun, the name. So the names are given for every 10 times kramashah in a line. Okay, and then he says sankhya sthananam, place value, vyavaharartham, behavior, for the usage. It has been done. See, you can see krita purvaihi. He has said purvacharya have created it, I have not created it, right? So itna unme there was humility to accept that whatever they learned, they have learned from their gurus, and also they have explained the entire first standard to fifth standard का जो first chapter है वो एक ही श्लोक में आ गया. तो आप बाकी का सोचो आप कितना पढ़ा सकते हो बच्चों को. So it is very exciting to explore this. I am really enjoying when I have already written first standard to 8th standard. अभी 9th to 12th करने के लिए मैं इतनी उत्सुक हूँ कि मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है इसको करने में. Then you see this ब्रह्मगुप्ता जो ब्रह्मस्फोट सिद्धांत में है, तो उसमें वो बोलते हैं कि योगे खम क्षेपसम वर्गादो खम खबाजितो राशि ही. So in this he says, see हम लोग कब सिखाते हैं बच्चों को कि any number divided by 0 is infinity, हम सिखाते हैं. तो इसमें ब्रह्मगुप्त ने पहले ही बोल दिया. So in one shloka he says 0 plus a is a plus 0 is a minus 0 is a, right? So yoge kham kshepa samam. Okay, kshipyate asau iti kshepaha vargadau kham. So when you do a square, go to the raised to 2, that is also 0. 0 cube is also 2, and etc. Okay, and then he says square root and cube root, and he says khabajito, 0 का denominator जो है, 0 अगर denominator में आता है तो वो indeterminate है. It is just kha hara. Kha is kham, akasha is 0. So kha hara divide by 0 is just called kha hara divide by 0. It is not a number, right? So ये उन्होंने इतना easily समझा दिया एक ही श्लोक बना. Just we have to understand Sanskritam. That is the major part. So you have negative values, integers, positive values. कितने सारे श्लोक है जो हम बता सकते हैं. तो so for example, let me try. हाँ, ये देखो, ये भी है बीज गणित. भास्कराचार्य ने खहरा यूज किया है इसमें. अस्मिन् विकारा खहरेण राशा अपि प्रविष्टेषु निसृतेषु बहुष्वपि स्या लय सृष्टि काले अनंते अच्युते भूत गणेशु यद्वत्. So he says that जिस तरह जो लय सृष्टि काल में जो आपका व्हाट डू यू कॉल इट विश्वरूप दर्शन जो बोलते हैं, उसमें अगर आपने मूवीज वगैरह में देखा होगा तो लोग आते हैं, मर रहे हैं, पैदा हो रहे हैं, देयर आर ऑल दीज हेड्स, सो मच फायर everywhere. So that infinity, that is infinity. So ananta is infinity. Achyuta is somebody who will not be changed. अगर आप सो जिस तरह लय सृष्टि काल में अनंत, दैट इज अच्युता अनंत होता है, उसमें से आप कुछ निकालो तो भी वो वही रहता है, अच्युता रहता है, इट इज नॉट चेंज्ड. जो आप उसमें ऐड करो तो भी वही रहता है, it is not changed. So जिस तरह अस्मिन विकारा खहरेन राशा, so this khahara that is divided by 0, khahara is divided by 0 is equal to ananta, which is infinity. So I hope you are I mean ये थोड़ा technical हो गया mathematics. I hope you are all able to appreciate it, if not understand it fully. So yeah, that is about the numbers. Then we also have algebra, geometry, Pythagoras theorem है, भुजा कोटि कर्ण न्याय जो बोलते हैं हम. Then area of triangle है, त्रिभुजस्य फल शरीरम समदल कोटि भुजार्ध संवर्गः. So these all, so pi का value जो आया मैंने बताया, ratio proportion है, series है, sum of series है, all these are there in the our granthas. So there is nothing in the modern mathematics which we can, you know, कि हमने नहीं कराया पहले. So जैसे व्यस्त विधि जो बोलते हैं, इष्ट कर्म, मतलब जो ये सब है सॉल्विंग ऑफ इक्वेशंस में हम लोग क्या करते हैं, व्यस्त विधि करते हैं ना, गुणम छेदम करते हैं, छेदम को गुणम करते हैं, एडिशन को सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, सब्ट्रैक्शन को एडिशन करते हैं. सो दैट इज द व्यस्त विधि. सो यूजिंग दैट हाउ टू सॉल्व अ सिंपल इक्वेशन. फिर इष्ट कर्म है, मतलब यू आर यूजिंग सम अज्यूम नंबर्स एंड सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम. संक्रमणम, विषम कर्मणम, देन वर्ग कर्म विच इज स्क्वायर्स, क्यूब्स है, क्यूब रूट्स दिया हुआ है. एक्चुअली इन अवर वेस्टर्न जो स्कूल है, मोस्ट ऑफ द, आई हैव सीन यूएस का कोर करिकुलम देखा है, सिंगापुर का देखा है, नेदरलैंड्स का देखा है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया का देखा है. एवरीवन्स, नोबडी टॉक्स अबाउट क्यूब रूट्स. लेकिन हम सिखा सकते हैं, बिकॉज लीलावती में है, आर्यभट्ट ने लिखा है कि क्यूब रूट्स कैसे करना है, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट द क्यूब रूट. सो देयर आर श्लोकास व्हिच एक्सप्लेन द method, and then they have written some examples, and then you know इन्होंने सिर्फ ग्रंथ नहीं लिखा, उसके बाद कमेंटेटर्स हैं जो व्याख्याकार जो बोलते हैं, व्याख्याकार, वो उन लोगों ने उसको, उसका श्लोका लेके, उद्देश्य का मतलब एग्जाम्पल्स लिख के, उसको सॉल्व करके हमको सिखाया है. बिकॉज दैट इज ऑल्सो इन संस्कृत. अगेन because we don't know Sanskritam, ये हो रहा है. So then Trairashika is ratio and proportion. So quadratic equation, see this, ये तो आप सबने ही होगा. This I think we would have seen it in the form of b square minus 4ac by 2a, है ना. So a by 2 plus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So this was again given in the गुण कर्म जो बोलते हैं. So very interesting, sounds very interesting topics. बहुत सारे we can go through. So I'll just give one more example. जो भूत संख्या जो बोलते हैं, जैसे रस है, रस कितने प्रकार के होते हैं, कितने टेस्ट होते हैं, 6 होते हैं. There are 6 रसा. गुणा त्रिगुणा होता है, सत्वगुण, तमोगुण, रजोगुण. पूर्ण is 0. मही is धरती, which is 1. धरती एक ही होता है. तो इस नाम से, सो जो ये श्लोक है, ये सिद्धांत शिरोमणि करके एक टेक्स्ट ग्रंथ है जो भास्कराचार्य ने लिखा था. और उन्होंने लिखा उस टाइम मेरा जो 1036 शाका era 1036 is 1114. This is the 11th century, sorry, 12th century में हुआ था. So that is given. My birth took place in this at this year 1036 Shaka King, and उस time मेरा age था 36, because again rasa guna, so he has written rasa guna. So सिद्धांत शिरोमणि कब लिखा था वो भी हमको वो पोएट्री में ही, वो ग्रंथ में ही लिखा हुआ है कि ये एज में मैंने ये किया. इवन लीलावती भी वो बोलते हैं कि मैंने 23 years में किया था. So these kind of information was coded inside the shloka itself, so that people don't forget it, because उस time oral tradition था. So that was the main thing. Yeah. Thank you. I think I have spoken a lot. Yeah, I would like to really see if there is some questions.
Bhagini, do you have the list of these mathematicians anywhere in your PPT?
हाँ, इसी में है ना. I have it here, the first page. हाँ.
Oh, these are all the list of mathematicians. Is it? Okay.
Yes, these are the list of, mostly they have written about astronomy. एक एक पूछेंगे तो I can tell you what he wrote and what he did not. Like Sridharacharya, he wrote only about Patiganitam. में सिर्फ addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, square root, cube root. That's all. Nothing about algebra also. But at the same time, like Ganita Sara Sangraha में उन्होंने he went through all the commercial aspects. कि gold कैसे बनता है, alloy कैसे बनती है, all those kind of things. Everyone wrote their own books.
बहुत अच्छा. And are all of these texts available online anywhere, Bhagini?
हाँ, archive.org में है ना, सारे ही है. You will find all these books, but they are in Sanskrit.
Kalanaganitam, everything.
आप कलन गणितम किसको बोल रहे हैं? I'm not sure. That is the Ganitam, not the. So that would be in probably Bhaskaracharya's
Madhava.
माधवा सीरीज, तंत्र संग्रह. आपको नीलकंठ सोमया जी का तंत्र संग्रह देखना पड़ेगा, उसमें होगा.
ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा.
But even Madhavacharya, he did not say that indeterminate. He did not go from real to imaginary numbers. He kept it to rational numbers only. They expressed all the irrational numbers as fractions and approximated it. So everyone had their own approximations.
Now I'm talking about mainly the calculus part kind of books, basically.
Yeah, that should actually be in. You'll start in probably Aryabhata and go forward.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bhagini. Anybody has any questions? Please ask. Do you have some time, Bhagini?
No, I got my meeting got postponed. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. I can.
Okay. Then
I have a question. Excellent presentation, Harini ji.
Thank you. Namaste.
Ramesh ji, can I ask?
Yeah, yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is, so you mentioned all of these topics, right? So some of these are now slowly beginning to get acknowledged by elite researchers, but it is still in, like, it is not at the level that is mainstream knowledge. Like, for example, I saw in one TV series, Fibonacci series was being called as Pingala series, but it is very niche knowledge even now.
Yes.
So, but if we have like this evidence of some research, MIT and this researchers, it is officially called this, then people like us can go to our schools and educate. We cannot convince them without the evidence. So whatever is already proven, we just need to advertise it. We don't need to do any research. So similar to that, I only know two, Pingala series and the Madhava series. Newton Leibniz is now.
Newton Leibniz
name is also
called yes, Madhava Leibniz series बना दिया उसको, because Madhava has written. But the funny part is that Madhavacharya's books are not available right now with any of the researchers. We only get to know him from this Ganesha Devagya has written some, commentary, or somebody else has written. Neelakanta Somyaji has said that Madhavacharya has written this. So then we get to know. So it is very difficult for us to even find the original jo shloka hai.
Oh yeah,
But
my
yeah,
question was
somehow it
कि
has been convinced. Yeah.
my question was these ये दो जो एग्जांपल आपने बताया
हाँ,
ऐसे और भी हैं जो प्रूव हो चुका है, तो
by the way,
उसका लिस्ट अगर
Pythagoras
है तो
theorem
हमारे
was
जैसे
at
लोग
least
स्कूल्स में जाके कॉलेज में जाके बोल सकते हैं, देखो आप लोगों का ही एमआईटी बता रहा है, हार्वर्ड बता रहा है, तो
हाँ.
ये स्कूल टेक्स्ट बुक में चेंज करो, स्कूल में बताओ एलिमेंट्री.
Actually, NCRT has been working on this. They are changing some of the things like integers. I recently saw class 7 textbook of NCRT. It is available online, NCRT textbooks.ncrt.nic kuch hai. So in that they have written, कि Brahmagupta has talked about integers or fractions, Bhinna Sankhya is fractions. So they have written that. So somewhere just their names and mentions are there. To be able to go there, I think, how would you tell somebody who's like Sulba Sutra mein, you can see that it is there. So you have to show it with the language and understanding of the language. So because Sulba Sutra has the value of square root of 2, it has the rational approximation of square root of 2. It our pi has been written in Aryabhata. I just showed you the shloka. So you can take the shloka and show it. So that is one thing you can do. The other thing is many papers have been written on it. I don't know if that is in your expected MIT se hi aana hai, yeah,
I mean like that that has been accepted by some universities, right? Because I am not a mathematic researcher. I don't have like PhD in mathematics. So if I say, people may not listen to me. Like I can show them Brahmagupta, and all this, but they will say, okay, ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग बोल रहे हैं.
Construction of squares. Squares ka diagonal kya hai? Square root of 2. So that has been shown using the approximations, rational approximation, because you cannot use a rope and measure an irrational number. So they have used a rational approximation of numbers. So that is there in the Sulba Sutras, and I have seen many papers written on it. Abhi mujhe, I cannot point out ki kisme kya hai, but I have read through many papers also.
Papers that have been acknowledged. Papers like that have been acknowledged. So we because people like us who don't have mathematics, not working in the stream of mathematics, we cannot explain from this but what.
So you can, through Professor Ram's lectures, he might be able to, on YouTube it is there. You can check through that. He will have lots of proofs and papers also. But first of all, we are on the negative end. हमें शास्त्र क्यों पढ़ना है? हमें संस्कृत क्यों पढ़ना है? Why should we, even read this? So that is why abhi Western mathematics aa gaya na. Why do we have to go and study this? So all these things we have to. So we are in negative. तो उसको at least zero लाने के लिए, positive तो दूर की बात है. Let us at least come to zero. Accept that हमारे पास था और हम सीखना चाहते हैं. एटलीस्ट वो क्यूरियोसिटी आए, और या फिर अपने बच्चों में या हमारे बच्चों में वो क्यूरियोसिटी अगर जगा सकते हैं. I think that is very important.
Yes, Ji. Thank you. It was an
Again, I have a question. So there are two parts to this. One is regarding, you mentioned about the Ganitam as a part of astronomy, as a part of a larger knowledge system of Jyotisham.
Yes.
So, but unfortunately, in today's world, Jyotisha means something about palm reading. Or, So regarding that aspect, I want you to, enlighten us how it is much more than prediction and why the prediction part was used, especially one part of the question. And another one, I want you to please enlighten us on the precision of time measurement in Bharatiya system. That is, we say nimisha, kshana, kala, ghata, and many things. It goes on like to the minute rest of parts. So if you have the any resource or anything regarding that, please let us know.
Actually, the resource will be there in Bharat Gyan. Definitely it will be there because they have worked a lot on that. I will have to search for something and I'll send it to you. I'll
And,
definitely share it with Valmiki Ashram.
Okay, Bhagini, then the other part.
Share, Mahodaya, we
So
are
when-
planning, we will be planning astronomy classes later, okay? And that we will mention all of that, okay? We will continue this series. It will not end at that on 30th, okay? We'll bring in scholars like this continuously, and then we'll start delving into each topic in detail, okay? So we have separately astronomy experts. One of the expert is coming tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow he will be taking the aspect of distortion in history. So he's an astronomer too, and he's willing to take the classes for us too. Emil Rajaji.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can I
Great,
ask one
great.
question,
Yes.
Harini? Can I ask one question?
One second. So जब हम संकल्प लेते हैं हम क्या बोलते हैं? वैवस्वत मन्वन्तरे कलियुगे प्रथमे पादे. All this we tell, no? So this is actually your time. जब भी हम पूजा करते हैं हम क्या बोलते हैं? हम ये कहते हैं ना, डेट बताते हैं ना कि कलियुगे प्रथमे पादे जम्बूद्वीपे भरतकर्षे वर्षे भरतखंडे हेमेरोः दक्षिण दिग्भागे. So all this entire thing is the sthana, mana, samaya. So the time. So it is also called, what is it called? Sorry, suddenly it went out of my mind. So
Kala
the
and Kshetra.
time and time, space, and direction also. So all three are explained, and every day we tell it when we do the sankalpa, when we tell the puja. So we have stopped doing that. So once we do that, we'll come back to this, I think. So the Panchanga, what are the Pancha-angas? So all that, I think an astronomer, you said that an expert on astronomy is coming. So I think you'll have a good time with that also.
Harini, can I ask one question?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
Bhagini, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Mahalakshmi. It's a nice session, Bhagini. I just wanted, there are two parts. The first one is, see, why do we always say pi is a paradox? That is one question. And second one, is there any mention of probability and statistics in Sanskritam like Vedas and all? Is there any mention?
Okay, let me just clarify one thing. Vedas is one thing. The Veda Anga, the ability to understand the Vedas is given by the Vedas Shadanga. So what are the Angas? Shiksha, Vyakarana, so Nirukta, Jyotisha. So Jyotisha forms a part of understanding the Vedas. So Jyotisha is not inside the Vedas. So let us be very clear. वेदों में कहाँ पर है? नहीं है वेदों में. वेदों में ज्योतिष शास्त्र यूज किया हुआ है. ज्योतिष शास्त्र अलग है. It is not a part of Vedas. So the next thing is, sorry, what was your question?
Probability.
Probability and statistics.
Does it come under Jyotish Shastra? I just had a doubt. Yeah.
No, probability. See, again, I'm saying Jyotish Shastra is something that is observation. Okay, they are observing the skies.
Okay.
Observe लिखा है, वो थोड़ा सा predict कर रहे हैं. How are they predicting? Using data of the previous observations.
Okay.
So क्या हुआ? Data and statistics हुआ ना. But at the same time, बीज गणितम में भास्कराचार्य बोलते हैं कि आप जो भी observe करो और जो भी calculate करो, हमेशा after calculating, if the observation is different, then the observation is true, not the calculation, because the celestial sphere keeps changing. जो astronomy है, जो ये सब राशि चक्र है या जो stars है, नक्षत्र है, वो सब change होते हैं, उनके properties change होते हैं, उनका कुछ कोई comet जाता है, then their orbit changes. So these kind of things, they say it very clearly. He says it, बीज पल्लवा में लिखा है शायद, कि don't trust the observation. Don't trust the calculation if the calculation and observation are different. The observation is the right one. And then he also says, 200 साल के बाद, maybe this calculation might not work. So you again observe and write down your calculation. So they are always writing new data. Okay, this is one part. अपने statistics के बारे में पूछा, तो the other part is जैसे gold होता है, weighted gold. So the alloys जो बनाते हैं, that is weighted average, right?
Okay.
So it is there. Probability also is there. Statistics also is there.
Okay.
So if you pick, so he says 21 swaras देते हैं संगीत रत्ना करा, and 21 swaras से हम लोग 4 लाख राग. So, but how many ragas are there?
Yeah, then, and मेरा और एक question था,
Yeah,
pi
please.
paradox. See, when you take 22/7, it's in the form of P by Q, but when you take the decimal form, it's non-terminating, non-recurring decimal.
No, see, it is he says it is very clearly said that it is asannaha. We are only nearing to 22/7, or we are only nearing to 3.1416. It is an endless number.
Yeah, it's an
expressed
irrational
in the
number.
form- Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's an
You
irrational
cannot
number.
express it in the form of P by Q. 22/7 is an approximation. It is a rational approximation for use in the Laukika things. That's all.
That's what often
Yeah.
students ask, when we are able to write it as 22/7, then
We
why do you
are
call
only
it as
approximating it.
okay? So
नहीं,
what answer would you give to that question?
We are
Suppose if a student, yeah,
approximating. Yeah,
Okay.
बच्चों को यही सिखाना है कि ये जो number है, जो what is the pi? What is pi? Pi is the ratio of any circle आप draw करो, तो उसका जो
circumference by diameter,
circumference है,
yeah, circumference
उसका
by diameter
diameter का ratio है.
ratio है,
It is
yes,
of the circumference to diameter. So
diameter.
they also clearly say paridhi vyasa sambandha. What is the circumference to vyasa is diameter, sambandha. So
Okay.
what is the sambandha? So that is what they are saying. So it is, we are calling it pi because Westerners called it pi. We never named it. We just said paridhi vyasa sambandha.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Anybody else have questions?
More hands are raised.
Yeah.
Tejal and Dr. Avasthi.
मैडम नमस्ते, माई सेल्फ अवस्थी शैलेश जी। मैडम मैं एक प्रश्न पूछना चाहूंगा कि टुडे इटसेल्फ आई हैव रेड आर्टिकल, एक्चुअली रिसेंटली UGC has reframed the total curriculum of UG level. Okay. A project is going on, namely Learning Outcomes Based Curriculum Framework, LOCF. And I read an article regarding the mathematics LOCF by Professor Thapar from Kerala. So she had raised so many allegations on it and saying like it is actually not exactly, because so many things were taken from the Sanskrit texts and it's not practically possible and all those things, like against the our Bharatiya Ganita Parampara or Bharatiya Gnana Parampara. So I think we the people, we should raise some voice
Yes.
to this, and what kind of answer we can give, because I am also the part of this LOCF. I am working on a Sanskrit LOCF.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
I'm in
So
the
you should be, so you should have, I mean, if you understood, because they have said that UGC, I think, has given some shlokas from Baudhayana Sulba Sutras, or I think that is what it, the controversy was, right?
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
Baudhayana Sulba Sutra mein hai na, Pythagoras theorem, Pythagoras se at least minimum 400 साल पहले लिख चुके हैं. So that is there. So why not teach it from that? उसमें भी वही लिखा हुआ है, तो हम पाइथागोरस का नाम क्यों ले?
जी जी, मतलब मैडम एक्चुअली बात वो नहीं है, वो भी जानते हैं कि ये सब कुछ है, बट स्टिल they are opposing it or they are against it because their thought process may be some like
see, we are working against the ecosystem. ये तो
exactly.
जानी हुई बात है. तो
हाँ.
you have to understand your point of view and अपना आपको रखना पड़ेगा. You have to put it. They also know that.
Yes,
They
yes,
also know that. हम लोग कहीं पर हम अटक जाते हैं because their voice is more.
That's
और कुछ नहीं है. सत्य जो है वो
हाँ.
सबको दिखता है. It is
जी.
only that their voice is more. That's all. So we have to keep pushing it.
Exactly.
So yeah. So give
Avasti
proof for proof.
Madam,
Avasti ji, if you don't mind, could you please share the same link so that we can work on the gaps?
yes, I have shared it.
I think it's in
yes.
many of the newspapers. I went through. I think Business Standard में आया था, किसी और में आया था.
The Hindu में है,
Yes,
madam.
yes.
हाँ, हिंदू में है. Okay.
जी.
Okay.
The Hindu, ironically, is the most anti-Hindu newspaper.
मतलब
No,
सर भी
it
रमेश
is
सर भी जैसे आगे की क्लासेस में भी वो बताया है कि मतलब ये जो एक पूरा थॉट प्रोसेस को चेंज करने का काम किया जाता है, तो उसके ऊपर आई थिंक हमें ज्यादा काम, क्योंकि वी ऑल नो अबाउट द ऑल दिस थिंग्स. जैसे आप गणित की बात करेंगे, साइंस की बात करेंगे, और एनीथिंग अबाउट अवर भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा, वी नो इट वेरी वेल, बट हाउ वी हैव टू provoke it to the upcoming generation. We have to think about
whoever. So what you can do is छोटी बातें जो है, whoever comes to you, you keep talking.
yes,
You keep talking. So we keep telling the younger generation. अभी का जो generation है उनको कुछ भी नहीं पता है.
yes,
At least हम लोगों ने कुछ तो अपने पेरेंट्स से सीखा, हमने ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स से सीखा. बट अभी के जो बच्चे हम देखते हैं उनके ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स नहीं सिखा पा रहे कुछ, और उनके पेरेंट्स भी नहीं सिखा पा रहे. तो दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन एनी टाइम से. फॉर एग्जांपल, यू लिव इन अ गेटेड कम्युनिटी, आप एक कम्युनिटी हॉल में जाके आप बात कीजिए इसके बारे में.
yes, yes.
That's all. So that मैंने जो बोला -1 से 0 से 1, you have to keep on asking. You have to keep on improving that. कि लोगों को curiosity आए. Yeah.
Okay.
So this
आजकल लोग तो चैट जीपीटी को मान रहे हैं बच्चे.
Exactly, sir.
Actually, ChatGPT भी it's not bad with Sanskrit term. You can put a Sanskrit shloka, it gives you a ऊपर का meaning तो दे ही देता है कैसे भी.
It's working good.
Yeah, but थोड़ा अंदर का it doesn't go deep. जो हम कमेंट्री में देखते हैं, जो हम एक स्टाइल ऑफ पोएट्री में देखते हैं, वो सब तो उसके लिए स्कॉलर्स की जरूरत है हमें. और स्कॉलर्स हमें ही बनाना है, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट जनरेशन से ही आएंगे स्कॉलर्स.
Yes, ma'am.
So this Om Purnamada Purnamidam, actually, do you know what it means? So Purnamada Purnamidam, if you take this whole is a complete whole thing. Yeah, the infinity, the whole, the zero, or the entire universe is one. And then from the infinity, even if you take something, it still remains whole. And what you have taken out also remains whole. If you add something also, it remains whole. So that is what is Purnamada Purnamidam. So it talks about the concept of infinity. किसी ने, सुभाष जादू ने लिखा है श्लोक, तो इसलिए मैंने बोला.
Yes, ma'am, I acknowledge it, and I request the August forum that since all this text available to us is in Sanskrit, and the forums which are available to us at present, which translate this text, are either at Google or at ChatGPT. They do not give the real meaning of the word to word what is written in the text. So we have to make an internal effort, as you rightly said, that there is an ecosystem against this process. So I request this August forum that we have to start creating our own dictionary somewhere on the web page, where people can understand मेरा मतलब क्या है आपको कहने से कि ये धर्म है या ये अधर्म है. वो तो religion और non-religion तो नहीं हो सकता है. So somewhere we have to start from fundamental, and somewhere the Sanskrit has to be made compulsory in school. It has to be an essential subject for all of us.
तो
Thank
हम
you.
लोग क्वाइटली बैठे हुए हैं ना, हम लोग बात मान रहे हैं.
So Mahoday, Harini ji is working on the books for Agastya Gurukulam, and we used to be working together in the past. So Agastya Gurukulam is also one of the Sanskrit medium Gurukulam that was established during the COVID time, and I am very close to their founders in America. मेरा बच्ची भी वहीं पे पढ़ती थी इनिशियली, तो हम उसी का प्रेरण लेके अगस्त्य गुरुकुलम का प्रेरण से ही हमने वाल्मीकि आश्रम लगाया है, रेजिडेंशियल फॉर्मेट लगाया है। अगस्त्य गुरुकुलम जो है वो ऑनलाइन में भी पढ़ाते हैं, और वो बेंगलोर में डे स्कॉलर गुरुकुलम है, और उसी का प्रेरण से हम थोड़ा और भी अच्छा करने के लिए थोड़ा रेसिडेंशियल बनाए तो बच्चों के लिए अच्छा रहता करके हमने वाल्मीकि आश्रम लगाया है हैदराबाद में। Yeah, anybody else has a question? Praveen Singh ji or Tejal Datte ji?
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Harini ma'am, thank you so much. This is almost lit up, some of the dead cells in my head. All right. I'm a failed mathematician, wanted to pursue maths but could not. Became a student of linguistics and philosophy.
अरे linguistics में mathematics है. Oh, it's so beautiful.
I know. I mean,
go to Vrata Ratnakara, and
sure.
It's beautiful actually.
Yeah, कोशिश कर रहा हूँ समझने की, अभी तो बहुत लंबा सफर जाना बाकी है. But आपने
मेरा भी, मैंने भी just एक 0.0001% मुझे समझ आया, जो मुझे समझ आया मैंने बताया.
मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि since you've covered a greater distance in the field of maths, especially as regards Indian mathematics, so एक होता है कि जैसे हमने आपको सुन लिया आज करीब 45 minutes या 1 hour, right? So उससे क्या है कि कुछ चीजें पता लगी इधर उधर की, but what happens is that there is no concerted effort, meaning there is no focused effort जो साल 2 साल 3 साल के लिए हम कर पाए, because उसके पीछे रीजन ये है कि once this presentation from you gets over, मैं कल को फिर किसी और चीज पर लग जाऊंगा, right? तो क्या कुछ ऐसा है कि I can join and I mean मैं मैथमेटिशियन तो हूं नहीं, जाहिर सी बात है, मैंने सिर्फ 12th तक मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ी है, बट मेरा इंटरेस्ट हमेशा से इसमें रहा है, एंड इफ आई वांट टू परस्यू दिस, तो क्या कोई प्लेटफॉर्म एटसेट्रा है जो मैं ज्वाइन करके मैं साल 2 साल 4 साल 5 साल के शायद मैं कुछ हेडवे कर पाऊंगा?
एक्चुअली मैं आपको एक कहानी बताती हूँ, मेरी कहानी. जब कोविड के पहले मैं सिर्फ संस्कृत का ज्ञान रखती थी और मैथ्स तो आई यूज्ड टू टीच, बट ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम आई अटेंडेड अ कोर्स बाय प्रोफेसर रामासुब्रमण्यम. तो मैंने भी एग्जैक्टली प्रवीण जी यही क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछा था, बस मैंने वीडियो नहीं ऑन किया था, और उन्होंने कहा कि तुम करो, जो करना है करो. और उसके बाद 6-7 महीने बाद he found me from somewhere, just from my email ID. He found me, he found my number and he gave me this project. तो हमारे अंदर अगर इच्छा हो तो last 5 years से I have been like, I tell अभी मेरे जो क्लासमेट्स हैं या जो भी हैं जो कॉर्पोरेट में वर्क करते हैं, वो बोलते हैं कि because I am an engineer from NIT, I am not a संस्कृत person. So मेरे जो क्लासमेट्स हैं सब बोलते हैं अभी भी तुम पढ़ाई कर सकती हो, और like are you really happy in your job? तो मैं बोलती हूँ हर दिन मुझे बच्चों के साथ खेलने का मजा आता है, हर दिन मुझे कुछ नया सीखने का मजा आता है. So I am enjoying my job. But so then they are like, okay, क्या हो रहा है, ये corporate जाना है या? Because I literally, the minute Ram Subramaniam Acharya called me, I closed up my business and joined this. So that is my story. तो अगर आप उससे resonate कर सकते हैं तो maybe you have a path in this too, because हमें लोगों की जरूरत है. हमें जो it is not the ज्ञानी that we require, it is the people who will work on this that we require. जो effort लगा सके, हाँ, जो effort लगाने में कर सकते हैं. क्योंकि मैं ना संस्कृत जानती हूँ, ना pedagogy जानती हूँ, ना सिखाना जानती थी पहले. I am a software professional. मेरा पूरा career ही different था. But I closed shop and did this because this really interested me. तो वही विधि जो होता है कहीं से आ जाता है.
Praveen
Bagini
Singh,
and
You just have to think about it and it will happen.
Thank you,
Praveen
ma'am.
Singh ji, Praveen Singh ji.
Ji sir.
Yeah,
Ji
you
sir.
have a
हाँ उन्होंने ही क्वेश्चन पूछा था.
अच्छा, okay. So Ravi Kumar Toleti. Ravi Kumar ji,
रमेश जी मैं डॉक्टर
Yes,
उमेश
sir.
तिवारी
I'm
बोल रहा
there.
था
I'm there, sir. So nice to hear from Madam. Such a wonderful session. I'm so lucky to be here along with you all. The day when I joined this course, I thought, "What is this?" But now, day by day, it has become more and more interesting. Thank you, sir, for arranging such a wonderful, fascinating this thing. I'm a retired teacher from Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. Recently, about
I am a student of Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Namaste, madam. And I'm really, you're the best motivator that you're an engineer, you have done so many works and still you are able to speak this. And I always had a feeling that, see, we are losing all these things of Sanskrit and all these things, but I'm surprised today, see, that so many wonderful, learned people are there in this group who are saying that so much of work, excellent work is outstanding work is going on. I really feel that I did not utilize my time properly. Though I was having wonderful students with me, but I did my part. I'm also an engineer. I teach work experience to the students. Madam, my question is just right. I'm coming this to the. There are some Indian people who have done for the first time work on paper folding and mathematics. Indians are there in that in 19th century. Can you just throw some light on that if you have any idea? Origami
Paper
and
folding,
mathematics.
origami and mathematics.
Yes.
I have not come across any grantha which talks about that.
Yes.
So
Bagini,
I have not really heard about it.
I think I have the document.
Yes.
The book is available. The entire mathematics can actually be taught
Yes.
with that document, the geometry especially. Mahalakshmi ji, I think I gave it to you. Don't you have it, Mahalakshmi ji? Are you there? I think she's stepped out.
Okay, sir. In the process, we can have it. But what
We
I
have
just
it.
know is,
I have that book actually. It is
Yes.
written in 1900s probably by in the Britain.
1895, sir. 1895, one Mr. Sundar Rao.
Right.
He was a retired
Yeah,
Yes,
I have
yes,
that
yes.
book.
I've heard
HM.
about.
HM retired. After retiring, he has taken his grandson to a paper shop and bought some papers, and he started working on that, and then wrote a book which was published by 35 times by British and Americans, but Indians did not utilize this
Yeah,
properly.
I have that book. We are
Yes,
we
sir.
are implementing that book, teaching methodologies from that book in our
So I
book club.
have tried to make some small videos and have a YouTube channel. In the coronavirus time, I started, and Pythagoras theorem. Wonderful things can be taught with that paper folding.
So,
So I work on
yeah.
the paper folding. I just thought that this also can be part of it. I do not know whether it can be part of it, but the other
Yeah.
topics are wonderful. But this is, but Indians have done a lot of work on that. That's what I just wanted to highlight. Yeah.
So, see, the entire mathematics is a contribution of us.
Ramesh Mahoday, namaste. I'm there here. Yeah.
I gave you that book, Bagini, right? You should have that book, right?
So,
Yes, yes,
Mahodaya,
yes. We have
can
it.
So
I,
we
can I,
are planning to implement that training, teaching methodology from that book, Mahodaya, in our book
Please,
club for our.
please share with us, sir.
Kandita.
Share with us.
Okay.
so Mahodaya, that entire origami actually was invented in Japan for the sake of carpentry and architecture.
Mhm.
So that is basically what origami is. So that children, at a young age, people know geometrical shapes and they can, from a point of view of a carpentry. And in Indian mathematics, there are all these carpentries, this Vishwakarma people. If you go to any Vastu expert, they have mathematical formulas for their day-to-day activities. Like they have these instruments, and so it is connected. It's not like whatever origami is, it is coming from carpentry and carpentry related math.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some good inputs. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's all.
Who else has anybody else have any questions here? I think
Bhagini,
Namaste.
this is to Harini Bhagini. Namaste. So, once again, this is not a question, but I want to just thank you because people like you and Ramesh Mahoday and people like you are the need of the hour. Because as somebody rightly pointed out, that a person who doesn't have a PhD in a particular subject, in this timeline, they are considered, ineligible to make claims about the topic. So that is where people like you who come in. People from NIT, IIT, or some brands, pre-established brands. When you speak such kind of things, then it is valid. Even we can, push forward your claims. So
No,
you people are doing
actually,
a wonderful
if
job.
you
Thank you for that.
if you actually look at it, even I don't have a PhD, neither in maths nor in Sanskritam. It is just curiosity.
No,
So,
Bhagini, my point was the branding.
and yeah, but IIT Bombay Professor Ramasubramaniam Acharya, he is an expert. So you can take his name. He is supporting us. He is guiding us. He is mentoring us. So because of that, you can take his name. Professor Ram from K. Ramasubramaniam, you can check out on Google IIT Bombay. He is a well-known Vedantic scholar, mathematics scholar, as well as Sanskrit scholar. So I think you should use his name.
Sure, Bhagini, sure. Thank you for
I know
the input.
0.0001% of this whole thing.
Wonderful job, Bhagini. Dhanyavada.
Yeah. So anybody else has any questions? So, okay. Thank you very much, Bhagini. Really, just gave her a shout like 45 minutes before this session that if she can take some session on the Ganitam, then because I saw her in the other day in the attendee list, then I thought she's attending. So I didn't know she was attending, as I only saw it. So she was chatting. So then I gave her a call and she immediately accepted. I'm really, really thankful for you, Bhagini. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you gave me 40 minutes to prepare myself and put up the. No, but
Thank
it
you.
is something that I love talking about. So if I start, I never stop. So
thank you very much. So there are a few things that I was taking notes during this session. So I wanted to just explain some of the. So I'll take back the session.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I was just taking some notes during the session, Bhagini, when you were talking about some of the pointers. The algebra, the name, right? Its original name was Bija Ganitam.
yes,
The Indian text was Bija Ganitam. When it got transferred from to the Arabs during the 1190s, when they first invaded India, I mean, when the Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Chelsea, I mean, with the wrong methods of the warfare. In India, the warfare used to be you had to fight on the ground, on the open ground. But Muhammad Ghori, he got defeated 16th time, and 17th time when he was also getting defeated. And then instead of fighting on the ground, he came in and attacked on the 4 o'clock in the morning, on the when everybody was sleeping. And at that time, after that, the Indian text got transferred to the Arabic communities. Then it got translated. So in the Arabic, they read from the left to right, right? So anything great or good or whatever, they put al in front of it. So Bija Ganita, Bija, they studied as Jaba. They Bija, they call it Jaba. Bija, Jaba, right? And then anything good, they would put al in between, right? So al Jabar it became. Okay. So when it went from the Arabs to the Europe, it became algebra. So that's the history of the name algebra. Okay.
Oh, they refused to accept zero for a long time, and
Yes.
negative numbers was against their religion.
Yeah. So
So-
that also have a story to tell. So until 1500, Europe was using Roman numbers, right? So during that time, this current calendar system, right, Indian calendar system was created in the 1526 or something like that, around that time, by the Pope Gregorian calendar, we call it, right? So the Gregorian calendar. So in that in the 1500s, when the Gregorian calendar was created, the current calendar that we use, right, it doesn't have a 0 year. Does anybody know about it? The current
Yes,
calendar.
Mahodaya. The leap year error, isn't it?
No, not leap year. I'm talking
No,
about
they are adding for every set of years, like after hundreds of years, they add one, I think 1 day or something. I read about it. I'm not clear, but
yes, that is different. That's different. That is, I'm talking about. See, when you have a month baby, right, or 2 months baby, do you say that whole up to first 12 months it is a 0 year, right? So when they started counting the first year, they didn't count it as 0 year. They started counting from the one only, because they didn't know the concept of 0 in 1500s in the entire Europe. So if you want to say 500 BC, then you have to say 2025 plus 499 years, not 500 years. If you want to say how many years elapsed from the 500 BC, you have to say 2025 years, that is current year, plus 499, not 500, because there is no 0 year. So that in itself tells that until when the Gregorian calendar, the current calendar system that we are using, when it was created by the Pope Gregory, they did not know the concept of 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So the entire Europe and our Ganita Shastram, we have it in Vedas. Maybe it is, Vedas means it is probably even before 5,000 years, even probably before Rama's time. Rama's time also we were using, lot of
Numbers.
zeros. Yeah, because we were using astronomy at that time. So our astronomy is so old. They have calculated 10 to the power of 71. Magini, how many numbers we have the names for?
Yeah.
10 to the power
10 to the power
71.
60 comes in Ramayana, but
10 to the
there are
power
other
60.
texts. Yes.
So they were using 0 before Ramayana,
Yeah.
which was like how many thousands of years ago.
And they had names for 10 to the power 60.
Yes, there is name for every 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 2, up to 10 to the power 60.
Up to 10 to the power 60. So the mathematics classes would have been very interesting.
Yes. So, and our text, trigonometry became trigonometry. Geometry means, geometry. Trigonometry, trigonometry became the, what do you call, the trigonometry, right? Alchemy, I think the chemi is also a Sanskrit word, and they put al in between, right? The alchemy, the Arab chemistry word is also from the Sanskrit. I forgot the root word for in the Sanskritam. And then the periodic tables, right? The periodic tables contribution by the Dmitry Mendeleev. It was created by Dmitry Mendeleev, right? Dmitry.
yes, Mother.
Right, Dmitry Mendeleev. Dmitry is also a Sanskrit word. He's from Russian guy. He actually went in and to the Azerbaijan. There is a fire temple in Azerbaijan. So over there in Azerbaijan, there used to be, if you just dig the hole in like a well, you will get the oil there. So there is a fire temple. So he stayed there for several years and learned Sevashuttaras, and he learned how the Indian Sanskrit letters are categorized by the sound and from where the sound is called and the table system. And then using that kind of a methodology, he studied the elements described in our Shivasuktas and everything, and he created about, I think, 56 initial periodic table had only 56 letters or something, the elements. And he used Sanskrit letters within the periodic tables also. So Dmitry is also a Sanskrit word, Deva Mitra. Its actual original, it's actually Deva Mitra. Mitra means the sun god, the star. The Mitra, why we used to call the sun as a sun, Mitra means the sun is the closest star, which is most essential for the life creation on the earth. So we call him the friend in the Sanskrit word. The Mitraism that was there in the entire Central Asia and the Europe before the Zoroastrianism and all this Christianity. The Mitra's birthday is the one that we celebrate as the Christmas Day. Mitra's birthday is the Christmas, December 21st. 2000 years ago, the Uttarayan used to start in the December 21st. Yeah. When we used to celebrate the Sankranti, it used to the festival when January 15th. At that time, probably it is another several thousands years ago. The Uttarayan used to start in January 15th. That's why we have not changed the date. Uttarayan actually is now currently December 21. Okay, so these all things are kind of mixed up information. So the plastic surgery, British captain, there is a story. I wanted to talk about it, but this is not from this class. That was just I remember that I need to talk about it. So you talked about the infinity, Bhagini, right? The infinity is Ananta, right? So the infinity minus infinity is infinity. Infinity plus infinity is infinity. Infinity divided by infinity is infinity. Infinity into infinity is infinity. That the Purnamidam, Purnamada, Purnapadaya, Purnamachyate. That's sloka is about talking about this Ananta. So Ananta is actually infinity symbol, is actually symbol of Ananta Sesha, Adisesha. The snake that on which the Vishnu is sleeping in the Kshetra, from where we have the symbol that Brahma is coming out of his Nabi, right? That Ananta Sesha, how many heads does it have? 5 heads, right? Right? Ananta Sesha has 5 heads. 5 heads represents the Panchabhutas. So the Ananta Sesha is representing the 5 elements of the universe that this universe is created. So this Ananta Sesha, Adi Sesha, Ananta Sesha, we call it. There is a song, right? Adi Sesha, Ananta Sesha, Ananta Sena. This song also, that Adi Sesha, Ananta Sesha. Why are we calling Adi Sesha? Initially, also the whatever is left over from the beginning, there is our seers have told us that there is no beginning. We don't know where the beginning was, but we know that this universe got created from a one source, because this universe is expanding. So it must have created from a big explosion from one point, from the Hiranyagarbha. So within the Hiranyagarbha, there is a matter with the Panchabhutas that is getting created in this Garbha, Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is again a representation of the Shivlinga, is also a Hiranyagarbha representation, right? So within there, the matter is getting created, and then at some point it gets exploded. So when it explodes, the infinite amount of matter gets into the space, and this entire Milky Way, the Akash Ganga, we call it Milky Way is Akash Ganga. Akash Ganga gets created, and our Akash Ganga is Mandakini. The name Mandakini. Like this, there are 84 lakh janma hua hai, bolte, right? I mean that the 84 lakh janmas are actually the janmas of this Brahma, basically. Each creation is one Brahma, right? So our creation is called as the Mandakini. We gave the name Mandakini. Akash Ganga, Milky Way is Mandakini. So after the infinite amount of matter that got spit out of this Hiranyagarbha, there is leftover, is also unlimited, Ananta. So that sloka is actually describing what is happening inside the Hiranyagarbha. Infinity after the explosion is again, whatever is left over is also infinite. So if you can just imagine the kind of intellect our ancestors had to think over, and the current most advanced scientists also, they have not come up with a better explanation than this. They're saying that everything came from the there is a big now they're talking about black holes, right? Now we have the concept of this whole universe getting culminated into again the source, which is another black hole. Then after the black hole gets into the black hole, it will again come out with another explosion, and then again another creation will happen, right? So I just wanted to want to explain about this the topics.
Mahodaya,
Yeah.
you spoke about the Brahmas. So there is a lot of misinformation or confusing information regarding the concept of Brahma. Because also regarding the Manu, we speak about the Vaivasvata, Manuantara and all that. So they say for each kalpa there is a different Indra, a different Brahma, a different Manu or something like that. So could you please enlighten on this confusion?
So
The
Manu,
concepts of kalpas and the timelines.
yeah. So if you want to understand about this, we are bringing in tomorrow. We are bringing in one person, ML Raja. He has done a lot of work on the Surya Siddhanta and everything. So we will continue these classes after this after the 30th also. So we will explain you about there are manvantras and the yugas. You need to understand there are different types of yugas. Okay, the yuga means not just the fixed timeline. So it is like a within the time in when you are measuring something, you say distance. Does it mean anything? You just know that there is some space in between two objects, but you have to mention whether it is a 2-meter distance, 2-kilometer distance, 10 miles distance, or whatever. You have to put the dimension before it, right? So for the yuga also, you have to put the dimension before it. If you don't put the dimension, there is no meaning. Yuga itself is like within the times terminology, it is just a time space. What is that quantity of the time space? You have to put it in between. So we call it one year is also one yuga. 1 day is also a yuga. One period of a king is also a yuga. In his yugam, we call it, right? In his rajyam, in his yugam means that the king's reign. So the yuga has lot of meanings. So even 1 month can be one yuga. 1 year can be one yuga. One 12-year cycle of the Jupiter can be your yuga. So there were several reasons our people have created these dimensions. All of that will have a separate session on the yuga cycle. And when you said the manvantras, so the Manu means actually the Manu. We have Manusmriti, right? The man, woman. We use all this also are coming from the Manu only. They keep talking about bashing Manusmriti and Manu. Actually, the Moses is also a Manu. Actually, Manus and Moses, the distortion happened. If you look at all the Moses 10 commandments, they're all coming from except one, everything coming from the Rig Veda only. Sorry, our Vedas only. They just copied our stories and created their own stories, including Abraham. Brahma, they put A in Britain and they said Abraham, right? They said that Brahma is polytheistic. We just don't want to have a polytheism. We want to have a monotheism. So they just said, okay, we will only worship one God, one deity. So we said Abraham. So we will talk about this manvantras, manus, and then the yuga cycles and all these brahmas and everything in a separate session. It will take a couple of sessions. We will definitely continue this session. So please keep attending our sessions. Okay.
So
And
I have something to share here.
Yes,
Manu. Previously there was a Padma Kalpa. The Padma Kalpa got over. Now it is Svetavaraha Kalpa. So I don't know if there were any more Kalpas in between that. But most of if you look at the Bhagavatam, or if you look at if you study the Ramayanam or Mahabharatam, they write about. So that is why the Puranas are in different Kalpas or different Manus, under different Manus, whereas our Ramayana and Mahabharata are like Vaivasvata Manvantaram. So because of that, they became history and the others became Puranas. That is one thing. The second thing is right now Vaivasvata Manvantara, Vaivasvata Manvantara is going on. Next, if you look at Devi Bhagavatam, if you look at Durga Shaptashati, you will see that the discussion is between Savarni Manu. He is a king who is going to become the Manu in the next Manvantara. So you already see those names have been chosen and they will be ruling us later. So it is all a cyclical combination of names and people there. Similarly, Indra keeps changing. So Indra also, I think next Indra is going to be our Bali Chakravarti. That is why we welcome him during Onam, no? So these kind of things are tied into our stories and Itihasa Puranas.
Yeah. So Antara, right? We say Manu plus Antara. Manu Antara is the time space. So each Manu there is a time description available. So the time space difference, you call it one Manu Antara. Okay. So we'll discuss a little bit more deeply later. Okay. Definitely, Madhu. So so how did the Indian text travel to Europe, right? I wanted to talk about the history of this Indian knowledge system traveling to the Europe. So until 1500s, right, the entire Europe was in dark ages. They were killing each other, Catholics and Protestants killing each other. And later, the Islam and Christians got started fighting and killing each other. So during that time, the Spain was under the Islamic rule. Actually, for 800 years, I think 500 or 800 years, Spain was under Islamic rule. So when they were Europe and the Islamic the countries, kingdoms were fighting, the Muslims rulers, they have blocked the trade routes going from India to the Europe, and they were charging very high, or it was becoming very difficult for them to afford that Indian goods. So for 200 years, Europe was suffocated with not having Indian medicines and Indian goods. Okay, so during that time, what happened was finally the Christian kingdoms, they were able to defeat Muslim kingdoms in the Spain, and they occupied Alexandria, which was in Egypt. So there was two libraries that Arabs have translated Indian text and kept. One in Egypt, one of the city in Alexandria city, and one in the Madrid in the Spain. So first, when the Christians took over Alexandria, they just destroyed the entire library. They just burned it out. But somehow the military general who took over Spain from the Arabs, he instead of burning it, he just wanted to find out what is there in this Arabic text. So they actually translated the Arabic text for 150 years. They have they put the scholars and then did the translations. So that's how the Indian text from it first went to Arab in the 1200s, and then from the 1500s, the Indian text from Arabic to the European translations happened into the Latin, and then the original translations, the Arabic translations, had the Indian text notes, like from footnotes, from where each one of these concept has been copied. But the Europeans, when they were translating, they didn't translate the footnotes. So if you look at in Europe, they think that their knowledge actually came from the Arabs. That's why they call it Arab numerals. Actually the Arab numerals actually came from the Indian numerals, right? So that's why when you're talking to other people, if you know this whole story, you would be able to understand in what point of view they're talking. So Europe thinks that their knowledge came from the Arabs, but Arabs got it from India after 12th century, after the Islamic.
Now even Arabs have started acknowledging.
Yes.
Even that the foundation by that Aramco Foundation, that Saudi Arabian, they have like an educational foundation. There they are sponsoring series on this Indian mathematics and all that. They're honestly acknowledging it came from
because
India.
If they have this text anywhere, their footnotes tells that they have this knowledge from India, right?
No, they're advertising it. They're going to Islamic countries, holding math symposiums, contribution of Arabs in mathematics, and they're acknowledging this came from India.
Right. So one more thing I took the notes was Harini ji, you said that why we stopped producing mathematicians after 1800s. That's because our Gurukulams were removed, destroyed. So there is no transmission of the knowledge. So we stopped producing the mathematicians after that. Only probably few mathematicians came after that, and then the Ramanuja and one of those like that. But
and
after
that they are geniuses. So
right.
Even Ramanujan was one of our ancestors only, no? So he had that blood in him.
Right.
So it was not he was the only genius. There were so many people. So they labeled him genius, and took the rest of them as normal, and they just killed this thing. Yes.
Yeah. So the Jyotisha Shastra, I want to just talk about this name Jyotisha, right? Jyoti means the illuminating objects, right? So Jyotisha means the study of the illuminating objects in the sky, right? Nakshatra means, again, it's not just the star. Naks means the space. Kshetra means the region. The space region. Nakshatra means not just one star, actually. A lot of people have the concept that it's like a star. Nakshatra means the space divided by the stars, a region of the space is called the nakshatra. Naks means in the Sanskritam space. Okay. And another thing, I think Bhagini, you said the Shanku is 10 to the power of 13, right?
Yeah, every probably it's like Aryabhatta says it in a different way, some names, and Leelavati says it in a different way.
Is it?
So in Leelavati, the shloka is there. Yeah,
so I thought Shanku is 10 to the power of 28 or something. In your document,
that's what I'm saying. So yeah. So Leelavati says 10 to the power 13. So they kept renaming over the years.
Okay.
So if you read Aryabhatta, it will be different a little bit. Some names like would be
28 actually, right? Okay. The Shanku is 10 to the power of 28 as far as I remember. But I'll just explain what is this Shanku. So we have a star called Trishanku, right? The distance from Earth to the Trishanku star, now the modern mathematicians, modern astronomers, they are saying that the distance between the Earth to the Trishanku is 10 to the power of 28 light years distance. So we have the number Shanku. The Trishanku star's distance is 10 to the power of 20, whatever. Trishanku is 3 times. So Shanku is this, so 3 times 3 into Shanku. 3 into 10 to the power of 28 light years distance. Can you imagine? Can anybody think about it? Can you fathom how did our ancestors name this star based on the distance measured in light years? Light years. Light year is the distance traveled by the light in a year, right? So the time it takes for the light to travel from the sun to the earth is like 5.5 or 6.5 minutes, Bhagini, right? 6.5 minutes, right? So for a year, if the light has to travel into 3 times into 10 to the power of 28 years, that much of time distance is the distance from Earth to that star. I don't know what to say, how they measured this. This is unfathomable. And you talk about Paridhi, when you're describing the pi, how to calculate the pi, right? Value of pi in terms of Paridhi. Paridhi also, again, it's a Sanskrit word. Paridhi became perimeter.
Yes,
perimeter, right? And the one more thing. So someone was talking. So are you the one? Or somebody was talking.
Ramesh, I have to drop off now.
Okay, you can go.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you and then
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for enlightening us today.
Thank you.
So the Romila Thapar. Yeah, the Romila Thapar. I want to tell one story about this Romila Thapar and their ancestors. Okay, it's a very history thing. There is one more news channel guy from NDTV used to be Thapar. What is that guy? Another Thapar guy. Anybody knows about this guy? He's very anglicized guy. He's also a relative of this Romila Thapar, who is a historian who wrote most of this modern history in JNU. Karan Thapar. Karan Thapar, right? They are very close siblings, or cousins probably. Karan. So these two, they are relatives, and their grandfather probably, or probably the Romila Thapar's grandfather is the one of the person during the British time when the Jallianwala Bagh happened in Punjab, right, Amritsar. So when Jallianwala Bagh happened, the British used the soldiers of actually from Nepal soldiers to fire upon our Hindus who are doing some small protest, burning the foreign clothes, imported clothes, right? So they cordoned off everybody, and they wanted. Why did this Jallianwala Bagh happen? Is after World War One, before World War One, the British promised complete independence so that the people can come in and fight for them against the Germany. And after the war is happened, we will give you the independence. They promised it. So with that promise, a lot of our Rajas, Maharajas, they supplied soldiers for the Britain. And after that, to suppress the rebellion or the quest for the full freedom, they wanted to suppress that spirit by force. So what they did is they wanted to show how brutal they can be. So they took the Nepalese soldiers, actually Gurkhas, and asked them to fire on by the General Dyer or whoever that guy was. So they killed about more than 2,000 people or somebody like that. So after that incident, the Amritsar, that whatever the Golden Temple, currently the Golden Temple, whichever the Golden Temple is, that Golden Temple's Mahanta, the head of that Golden Temple, he invited the General Dyer who did this act, and then he gave him the highest Sikhi award. Can you imagine the guy goes in and kills the Punjabis, and then the Amritsar Gurudwara's head is giving a award to the General Dyer, saying that you have done the real good job by suppressing this fight for the independence. And that is documented in the book called Butcher of Amritsar. You can check out this book on the Amazon, probably you'll find it. Okay, Butcher of Amritsar. And not only that, at that time, they have collected 26,000 pounds at that time and gave that as a present to the General Dyer. Okay, and the amount that was collected was the Romila Thappar's grandfather, Thapar. He organized the collection of the funds and he presented it to the General Dyer for killing the innocent people. So what does that tell you? The Golden Temple, Harminder Sahib, Gurudwara's head is actually giving a gift for killing the people. That means all these people of all the Indian institutions, they were all planted people. They were all planted. They have took over our institutions. They have put their own people out there, and those lineages are continuing even today. That is why we are unable to come out of this, because we are thinking these institutions will bring us out of this mess, but they are not bringing out. We have to know we should stop funding to these institutions because they are not doing any work, any of this. Not only this Golden Temple, the seeds for the Khalistan was sowed in at that time itself, and those seeds have become like a big tree, and they are growing in all these English-speaking countries like Australia, New Zealand, England, in the Canada and the Americas. They have created these people, funded these people by giving them a separate religion status. They said that for the Sikhs, we will let you, hold the weapons, but not no other person, so that they help them rule this country. So there's a lot of history to know. They used to, they gave favor to certain people, and then they use those people to rule us, basically. The same thing with the Muslims in India. They have given them more freedom, given away their mosques, and Gurudwaras were taken. Actually, after 1857, all the religious institutions were taken away by the government. But they gave back the Gurudwaras and the madrasas to their communities. They kept the Hindu community, Hindu temples with the government, and that is continuing even till today. It was the British who gave us the temples, and till now the temples are still with the government. Okay. One more thing, Subramani ji, are you still here? Subramani ji?
Yes, ji.
Subramani ji, I want you to share your experience about the Nalanda that story that you heard it in the Japan. Can you recollect?
I'm sorry, there is some background noise. I could not understand
Okay,
the question.
okay. We'll listen to that tomorrow then.
Okay.
Yes, later days. Okay. 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 Anybody has any other question?
Mahodaya, so you mentioned about the Romila Thapar, that grandfather this thing. So has it been acknowledged by any of the newspapers?
Yeah. How do I know about it? I'm not from that day. So you study the butcher of Amritsar. There is one Sikh guy, I think Man Singh or somebody. He keeps coming and telling up these things in Jaipur dialogues and other things. All this, he is the one who revealed it. It's there in the YouTube. I'll try to find if that I can find that YouTube link.
Oh, he's the one who appears in the full Khalsa attire, na?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good resource person. Yeah.
Right. He is the one who told us about this. That book itself. He is the one who actually displayed that gift. That was the picture of the gift that was given during that time. With the mahant of that Gurudwara giving away the gift to the general dyer. That picture was also there. Yeah. See, the problem is these kind of things come out and suddenly they get shut off. How this happen is this cabal is still very active. They just hush them off basically. So don't produce these things. I don't know what they give them. But this happens in America too. Like for example, Firestone tires when they were bursting. Something happened. Ford Explorer. And they finally blame it on the Firestone, which is a Japanese company. Actually, the fault was with the Ford company, but they pushed it to the Japanese company, Firestone tires, actually. So when the news actually originally came, the fault was with the Ford tires. They just purchased all the newspapers, said they don't publish this anymore. And finally, after that, they start producing the news on the Firestone, and they recall the Firestone instead of the cars, basically, that they have to recall. So this cabal is there all over the world. Yeah.
You mentioned about the pramana. I mean, about the unit for the yuga, na? So what is that unit that you were actually mentioning about? You told yuga can be anything, but you have to mention the unit in the end. Yes. So can you give an example for that?
So initially, it was the time span. It was used to yuga. It was used to find out at how many years they have to adjust the cycle, because initially they used to be 12 months in 30 days as a 1 month, and you have 360 days in a year. And then, but if you want to align with the lunisolar, create a lunisolar calendar, you have to adjust 5.25 days approximately for the whole year to get again. At some point, this 5.2 years is additional, right? For example, solar calendar is about solar year is 365.25 days, but your lunar calendar is only 360 days. So you have 5.25 days extra. So every year 5.25 days get accumulated. So after how many days, how many years you have to adjust, create an Adhika Masa, right? So that it gets adjusted, and so the whole year is just moving in a particular dimension, not actually continuously moving. Like Islamic calendar currently, their symbol is the Chandra symbol and the star, right? What does it mean? It's actually a calendar system that they follow. The a crescent moon and the star is, they don't consider the solar position at all, sun's position. All they look at is the moon and the star position. That's it. They don't look at the alignment of the earth, the sun, and the moon. They just look at the moon and the star position. They don't take care of the solar position. So our calendar is a lunisolar calendar. Their calendar is only a lunisolar calendar. That's why their Ramadan or whatever the Eid, they kept shifting by so many days every year. And currently, if it is in September, after so many years, it can coming into January also, because every year it is getting shifted, because their total year is less than 365 days. So they never have an Adhika Masa in their calendar system. So it never gets adjusted. So to calculate at how many years after you have to adjust this with an Adhika Masa, the Yuga calculation started coming up. In Vedic Yuga, it was Yuga was only 5 years. Like that, there at different points of time, the Yuga dimension has changed over a period of time. So at certain point of time, we were not only that we were looking at our solar system, we started looking at the manvantras. Our manvantras is the calculation for the entire our galaxy, the Mandakini. The rotation cycle of our Mandakini, they were starting calculating. For that, it needs a lot bigger numbers of cycles. So for that, these our Yuga cycles have become to millions of years, 4.32 million years. One Chatur Yuga became 4.32 million years. So there are several Yuga dimensions. We'll discuss about this in detail in later lectures. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mahavir.
Yeah. Who else wanted to have any questions, please? Yeah, Kishore Chandrapur.
Namaste ji.
Namaste.
Delved deeply into the academic part of Bharatiya Ganita. That is, we have quenched our thirst in the area of academic interest. I'm just curious to know in what way Bharatiya Ganita is different in terms of its outlook towards the whole gamut of Ganita. I mean, with respect to vis-a-vis the Western mathematics.
So some of these lectures have heard it from was the C.K. Raju. He was the what is the CDAC head of the CDAC from Pune. He was the one who actually created the supercomputers, designed supercomputers in CDAC. He actually lives in these things. He gives about some of the deficiencies in the modern mathematics that we have, like the limits and in the calculus where we use the limits and things like that. There are the way when they copy it, he says that they have not understood it properly. And I am trying to get hold of him. I have his number. We are trying to organize ourselves a little bit now. And then slowly we'll start bringing in these kind of experts who have studied our mathematics and Western mathematics, who has the authority to come in and start giving us more information about this research they have done. Okay, and that is one thing. The another thing is there are several ways of doing calculations within our in our mathematics. When you are doing multiplications or divisions or additions, there are several ways. So in our Ganitam, so we took, I think there are about 6 different ways of doing multiplications and things like that. There are ways to, there are sutras that describe how to calculate the cube roots, right? Like that. And there is another thing. So like for some of my cousins, they are brothers, they say, why should we learn Sanskritam when it has already been copied? Right now, what is the need for Sanskritam? Why can't we just live with what we have and live with the English? Then I say, then why is it that all the countries that that use their mother tongue as their education system, they are prospering, versus having such a long lineage of educational heredity that we have? After 75 years, we are unable to achieve anything. Like look at Israel, a 75-year-old country. They teach their children, even PhD, they do it in their own Hebrew. How many research scholars they are producing? So for the country to prosper, actually we should know how to protect our minds, the geniuses that we produce. They are the property of this nation. If we keep losing our experts, we will always be slaves for other countries. We will never be producers. So we should actually start producing in our own languages. Then what happens is our slave mindset. When I was going through college, right? I mean schools, I thought when I was learning 7th grade, the trigonometry, Pythagoras, oh my God, gee, look, because of British, we are able to learn all this geometry. I didn't only because the Britishers ruled us, we are able to I didn't know that all these things came from our own text. I came to know about like few years ago, 5-6 years ago. That's it. When I came to know about all this, I get that what the heck is going on? If everything came from us, what are we doing? Why are we not studying in our own language? Why should we let go of our heritage? Then I found out that if you don't do that, then we will just become, we will lose everything we have, right? And then they will continue to completely colonize us. They will continue to use us as a labor. I mean, I don't know how many people know, after Britishers came to India, after they created a lot of poverty, right? Then when they started creating poverty in India, then they passed a rule called Anti-Charitable Contribution Act. Then they said if somebody is giving a charity because they lost everything in the family during the family, then they said that you cannot give any alms to anybody. You should not feed them. Then all these people are coming out of their villages because they don't have anything, and they're just going into the camps outside the town for somebody to come and give them the food, because they cannot go and ask for the food to any neighbor. Everybody is afraid. So then these Britishers, they were doing a schedule. They were writing these jatis who are coming out, because they were destroying one class by class, one occupation by occupation. So these people were getting to the stage where they were unable to even feed themselves. So when the famine came, they didn't have anything. So these one caste by caste, they started putting a list. Which are the castes that are getting affected? That list became the schedule. That list became the schedule caste, basically. Not people know about this. Which are the castes that they completely destroyed, their occupations. Those castes became into the schedules, and those schedules list became the schedule caste. And they said that nobody in this country will help you. If you wanted to get any help, you have to come to our colonies abroad in the Guyana, Guatemala, like in Fiji, in other places, West Indies and other places, Trinidad and other places. And they took these people away as workers for them. And once they got hold of our labor, right, they said that now they started becoming very noble people by saying that we will ban slavery. The slavery ban that happened by the Britain colonizer happened after they got hold of Indian labor.
What act was that, Moday, again?
And 1877 Anti-Charitable Contribution Act. Anti-Charitable Contribution Act. 1877. You can Google it. You can Google it. Some two guys actually implemented it during the famine. So when the famine hit,
The Bengal famine.
Bengal famine, yes. During that 1875 and 78, I think 76 and 78, there was a big famine. So first famine, Britishers tried to feed these people, but these guys who are in charge in the Bengal, they were shunted out. Then the second famine, they said that to escape from the Britain scolding, they implemented this Anti-Charitable Contribution Act, so that these people, instead of feeding them and helping them during the famine, everybody were forced to die or go to their colonies abroad. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, and we'll meet tomorrow. Please spread the message. Tomorrow, another big good scholar is coming. Okay. I'll try to bring in one Ayurvedic doctor also. I will try. Okay. Okay. Let us start today's session. It's going to be very, very interesting. We have an expert here who is working on the Ganita Shastram. So before that, we'll start with the Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Gunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadittamastu Mavitrishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So we have a great personality today to introduce. Her name is Hariniji. I have known her for several years now, almost 3-4 years. She has been working along with the IIT professor K. Ramasubramanian ji, who is the pioneer in bringing out the Indian mathematics like Kalanaganitam, calculus, that was actually copied from India, by the West. So he's the currently the top-notch expert in Kalanaganitam. He's currently working at IIT Bombay. So Harini ji is working under the supervision of K. Subramaniam ji, and she's involved in producing the textbooks for the children from the 1st grade to the 8th grade currently. So later she will start working on 9th and 10th grade. So until now, unfortunately, there are no textbooks that we can teach the younger children. The so-called, in the current scenario. So she is kind of creating the textbooks in the Sanskrit language and in the English language too. So I welcome Harini ji. तो मैं हिंदी में भी इंट्रोडक्शन देता हूँ. हरिणी जी इज आवर गेस्ट स्पीकर टुडे. हरिणी जी आज हमारा अतिथि है. मैं हरिणी जी को 3-4 साल से जानता हूँ और वो अभी रामसुब्रमण्यम जी जो IIT का बॉम्बे का प्रोफेसर है, उनके अंडर में, उनके निगरानी में, उनके गाइडेंस में गणित शास्त्र गणितम पुस्तकें लिख रही है संस्कृत लैंग्वेज में. सो गणितम इन संस्कृत लैंग्वेज, संस्कृत भाषा में. तो अभी वो 1st ग्रेड से 8वीं तक टेक्स्ट बुक्स अभी 1st फेज में लिख रही है. तो अभी मैं हरिणी जी को इनवाइट करता हूँ. सो आई विल लेट हर स्पीक. हरिणी जी, you can take over the question.
Namaste. Thank you, Ramesh ji, for the opportunity. How many of us know that we Indians contributed a lot towards the mathematics of the world? So do you think you can respond with how many of you know about? So what we are doing right now is, say we take up any school level concepts, right? So what is taught in school level concepts? First, we talk about algebra, we talk about arithmetic, that is the decimal number system, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then we go to ratio and proportions. Then we talk about fractions, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers. We talk about algebra, which is equations, inequalities. Then we also talk about geometry, circles, triangles, quadrilaterals. फिर हम बात करते हैं मापन करना, that is एरिया और पेरीमीटर, या फिर जो सरफेस एरिया, वॉल्यूम, घना और so then after that what we talk about is the numbers. So number sequences, number series, जो हम बोलते हैं arithmetic progression, geometric progressions. So इन सब के बारे में हम सीखते हैं. उसके बाद हम ट्रिग्नोमेट्री सीखते हैं कि वो एंगल कैसे बनता है, एंगल का, राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल में एंगल के साइड्स का क्या रेशियो होता है. एंड देन वी ऑल्सो लर्न अबाउट कैलकुलस. सो ये एक क्या कहते हैं, हर एक स्कूल में ये सब पढ़ाया जाता है कि डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम से लेके ऑपरेशंस, फ्रैक्शंस, इंटीजर्स, रैशनल नंबर्स, अलजेब्रा, ज्योमेट्री, मेंसुरेशन, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री, कैलकुलस, परम्यूटेशन, कॉम्बिनेशन, यही सब होता है. 1st स्टैंडर्ड टू 12th स्टैंडर्ड में आप सब लोगों ने यही पढ़ा होगा. But what happens is we look at it from the Western lens. जो वेस्टर्न जो लोग बोलते हैं उसके हिसाब से हम चलते हैं. तो जो इंडियन टेक्स्ट हैं वो वही चीजें बहुत पहले से कर चुके थे. And that is what I would like to talk about today. So जैसे यहाँ पर बौधायन करके we have started from बौधायन का सुलभ सूत्र. तो आप लोगों में जो मंत्र पढ़ते होंगे वो बोलते होंगे that I belong to Baudhayana Salva Sutra या Apastamba Sutra, I belong to Katyayana Sutra. So जब हम अपना संकल्प करते हैं, जब हम पूजा करते हैं, तो हम बोलते हैं कि आपस्तंभ सूत्र है. तो वो क्या सूत्र है? What is that sutra? So that was the actual geometry, जो यज्ञ कुंड कैसे बनाना है. That used to be the be the instructions given in these Sulba Sutras. So the Sulba means a rope and Sutra means formula. So the set of formulas which you use to make the Vedi, जो यज्ञ कुंड होता है, उसको बनाने की विधि बोलते हैं, उसको एक रोप से कैसे बनाना है. तो सिंपल मेथड से